Welcome to the Fashion Translator. I'm Claire, your host. Together we explore how AI and innovation are reshaping the fashion industry through creativity, technology, and global partnership. For today's episode, I'm thrilled to welcome Mitchella Gilbert, founder of OYA Apparel, a performance-driven brand at the intersection of functionality and real-life wearability. Mitch works reflect a deep commitment to quality and thoughtful construction. Mitch, thank you for joining me today. Could you start by introducing yourself and sharing what inspired you to build OYA?
Thank you so much, Claire. Very excited to be here. I started OYA because I had skin health issues. As an athlete, a person who works out, who lived in sportswear, I noticed that I was getting all sorts of skin irritation and rashes from wearing these clothes that I essentially lived in. You know, as an athlete, sometimes you practice 2 times in a day while you're in college. And so I was looking for an alternative that would have, I guess you can say, more biocompatible fabrics that help my skin breathe. And I got recruited to go to business school, and I started working on this as a thesis. We started winning some pitch competitions. People started purchasing, and every day I'm learning more about skin health and textiles.
That's a great start. And what would you say is the DNA, like the identity of OYA?
Heroes. People who are interested in OYA are the entrepreneurial fitness buffs. So people who are going to lead a company to the next level, they're going to bust through walls. The military feminists. So that doesn't include just women, men as well. Like anyone who believes in, they're very pro USA, but they're also very pro women's rights. So very like high energy. And then lastly, biofuturists. So that's where we see a lot of investors who are interested in med tech, about the future of health, and just people in general who are interested maybe in like biohacking or just like what they can use to help them become more healthy.
That's a very specific DNA. And tell us more about the research. I'm sure there's so much that must be going on into building this.
Yeah. So we design our products to manage moisture. Everything is about moisture management. So we originally started with women. And so our fabrics breathe 3 times better. So we're incorporating ventilation where we can. They inhibit bacteria growth. They wick moisture faster. So 2 to 3 times as fast. So making sure that moisture is getting away from your skin as quickly as possible. We have a patented system that absorbs moisture, all trying to keep your skin dry and ventilated. And we also have skin healthy fabrics, free of 80,000 different toxins like BPAs and PFAs, azo dyes, and all of those harsh chemicals, made in the USA. We tested with 80 different medical physicians of different specialities. So like urogynecologists, urologists, dermatologists, anyone who deals with skin health. And we've done 3 case studies at this point, one with Air Force women pilots, one with medical doctors, and another one with military representatives. And right now we're doing our biggest wear study to date. We had over 250 applicants from all 6 branches of the U.S. military, including Space Force. We now dress Space Force people, which I think is pretty cool. Yes. And what we found with our data is a lot of sweaty people have skin health issues, and they call it names: swamp, crotch rot, fishy odor, and they just live with it. But we're not. We're trying to fight your swamp crotch. We're trying to be that extra level of protection.
You're here to save them.
We're there to let them save themselves. They're the hero, right?
Yes.
You want to just be part of your gear that you put on, like your hero uniform to go do. Like, I don't know what everyone in Space Force does. I can't even pretend that I understand a rocket. I don't know. But if you can wear OYA, we hope that you can be more protected so that way you can show up and do your job better.
Yeah, to support them in their journey and in saving us, to be an asset, to remove one thing from their mind so they can focus on where they really shine and where we really need them.
Yes. And we saw this like sweaty moms from Santa Monica, for example. And there, if they get a UTI, it's annoying and they don't like it. And so they come to OYA because we help prevent those sort of issues. I can't say prevent legally, but we help fight the conditions that lead to sort of issues.
Right.
Whereas on the military side, if they get a UTI, they may not be able to do their job. If a pilot gets a UTI, they can't fly for 7 days. The diver gets a UTI, like a Navy SEAL, they can't dive. And so it's one thing people don't always realize. And then we also address firefighters. If you're wearing these toxic clothing, 66% of firefighter deaths from like 2014 to 2021 were like attributed to cancer. So you're wearing these like toxic materials, you're sweating in them, and these have compounded effects. And so we just want people to be able to do their job better, to be the heroes they already are.
This reminds me a quote from another podcast guest. He said, if it's on you, it's in you. And I think that applies also for what you're working with.
Don't we need? I'm sure we were talking about my shot, which was like the healthy version. It's like you got to choose healthy because so much stuff is not.
On so many levels, we don't even have a say, or we're not really conscious of the level we get affected to. So on everything that we can be conscious and everything that we can choose, we should go the healthy way.
You're right. Even down to social media, which is something that you don't always think about, but choose to be.
Tell us more about the case studies that you've been doing. What has come out for you that you were like maybe already expecting? What were some surprises or things you're using to shift? Or tell us more about what's so far is the feedback.
We right now are running our largest wear study to date. We want to do one wear study per year. And so this includes males and females. So this is our first wear study that includes men and a lot of different jobs. So explosive ordnance device teams. So these are people who go check out bombs. They get very sweaty and they have to wear flame-resistant clothing. And so we've expanded to men's flame-resistant options and women, both military and civilian. What we've learned is some people, even if they don't say it, are living with 10 skin and urogenital health issues at a time.
Whoa.
If they're in these sweaty occupations, if they're moms, if
and they might think it just comes by default with the profession where actually it doesn't mean to.
Yeah. We're working with marathon runners. We're working with police officers and the results aren't in yet. So we're still concluding and gathering data. But so far we've been able to look at some data about what skin health issues that they're facing. Swamp crotch is a big one. Odor is a big one, especially because we have a lot of women in the study who have a lot of thoughts around odor management, sweat reduction. And I don't know if our data is biased and skewed because people were interested in participating in a skin health study, but it looks pretty bad for people who sweat a lot. For wear studies and case studies that we've been able to complete, we've done one with 10 women air crew fighter pilots, load masters, etc. in the Air Force. And we got a 4.88 out of 5 on ventilation and a 4.77 on sweat wicking and like a 4.55 out of 5 for odor control.
Pretty good.
With medical experts, we did a 2-month wear study with 32 providers, including OBGYNs, dermatologists, urologists, and physical therapists. And we got a 4.2 out of 5 on odor control.
You're on the right shot.
And then on anonymous health survey that we did of 25 elite women soldiers, we learned that 84% routinely work in temperatures above 85 degrees, which is a big thing to note because military people are actually like 3 times as likely to get skin cancer, 9 times more likely to get melanoma specifically, up to 7 times more likely to get eczema. What we're learning is people are entering into the military, and our data proves this. They're entering into the military without skin conditions. And because of the hazardous conditions that they're in, the fabrics that they're wearing, and the way their skin is being treated, they're leaving with skin issues. And they don't have the gear to help them combat that. And so that's also something that we're seeing.
Now that we really covered more in depth the technical side and then the fabric and the purpose, tell us more about like your design process. What does it look like thinking about these concerns, these performance, these objectives while combining the design side?
It's been a journey, and we can speak about our latest product, which are men's flame-resistant underwear, which we stumbled into as a market.
Yeah.
And it was very curious for us because unlike most brands, we had to design for men. We've never designed for them before. And so it was funny, like learning about where men sweat in their crotch because women, you know, it was being a woman designer. And we'll admit we were guilty. We were thinking together, we were like, you sweat here, like in the front. And we got a male male model. And he was like, we don't sweat here. And so I had to take a step back because I had to improve our process because we had designed for this population before. And so we had a male model, but then he also like wear tested it. So taking the product and going back home and doing his testing in it. We brought on a male designer because again, their genitalia, or they're just physiologically different. Yeah. I've had the amazing opportunity to work with a male designer, a male Taiwanese designer, and a woman manufacturer. And then I also have another manufacturer. And so it really is a team effort, not to mention my fabric specialist, because we're developing like custom blends, but all of us coming together to think through how do we solve this problem. And so it's very democratic. It's bureaucratic because there's clear people making decisions to keep the process moving, but it's democratic in the sense that everybody has a different perspective. My male designer has a different perspective than my female manufacturer because she's worried about cost. She's like, how do I manufacture this more affordably? And my male designer is, how do I solve male crotch sweat? So
they're all coming at it from a different angle, and then you are in a position where you have the balancing act to consider all of these different perspectives and to bring them together to deliver a product.
Yes, and then my male models, you want to test on different men. My vegan bodybuilder male client gives me different feedback about the product than my male client who sits a lot, isn't necessarily as active. So good design brings a lot of perspectives to the table, I think.
Correct. There's really a difference. If you think about the design, once it's been thought with the consumer in mind, and when the perspective of the manufacturer, the pattern maker, like a garment, when it's been conceived holistically with all these different moving parts, you can tell the difference rather than a design that was this beautiful idea, but then just thrown in without thought through and without considering how it's made, how, in what. We can really tell the difference when it's been thought of in a holistic perspective.
Yeah, and I'm still getting there. I'm a young designer. I didn't start in fashion. I know a lot of people in fashion grew up in fashion, went to Parsons, like they have the very traditional background. I was a consultant and I'm still not always technical. Like I'm not necessarily making the patterns and I'm not necessarily making the fabrics or even the manufacturing process design. Like I'm working with other specialists around these areas, but it's beautiful because I can say we've gotten so much better. Last night, I worked out in a pair of Lululemon leggings for the first time in a while. And I was like, we're at least on par. There were ways where I was like, I miss our leggings better. Like our pockets were better. Their seams were a little bit itchy. They got lengthy a lot quicker. But I can say what their brand does so well is they brought all those pieces together and the process is seamless. So they designed a great capsule that you can get in a variety of colors almost anywhere. You can go into a store and have a great experience. You can get it online. So they really thought through the product, the design, the fabric, how they can do that efficiently and like cost effectively. And then how do they scale that now that we're at this place in the business where our product is the experience you have while working out is comparable. It's not better. But then separately, you get these health benefits that you may not even while working out. So now my product is at least here, if not here. But from Lululemon, with that process that you just talked about, I have so much room to grow to scale it and really get that out there.
They definitely didn't start at this polished level. They got there through years and years of polishing. The beautiful thing is it works perfectly for them, but you'll find your own path and your own way. And you can get inspired by like the vision and by like how efficient it is, but the way like you'll be able to build your own version of that. And I think that's beautiful.
It is actually. It's cool. Like we are right now talking to uniform stores. So we're about to be in like 6 military uniform stores by the end of the year. And we're getting a commercial developed. And I think we're going to actually do it with a bomb squad. And so it's like, not only do I have customers, but my customers blow stuff up. And one of my newest customers, I think, is a SWAT team. And so just seeing your designs live on these people who are like out there being heroic is really
It's incredible. It's an incredible mission. If we think about your everyday work, which area has most of your focus?
processes and systems. This is my process and systems year because, again, I've made the product at least comparable, if not here. Now it's, do I have the systems to scale? Does my team understand how they work together? Are the job descriptions clear enough that everyone has a KPI or a key performance indicator and they understand how that ties back to the bigger 1-year goal, the bigger 3-year goal, the bigger 10-year goal? Because I noticed in myself as an entrepreneur, I was always overextending early on. We had so much opportunity and everyone was like throwing stuff at us. My team was a yes and team. Like, we can do this and that. It was really difficult because I didn't have the skill sets to support that scale. My team had expanded. We sold like 40K of product before we even had product. Like, we didn't even have product. So I had to build a supply chain, and it was during COVID. So this year, now that I got the product right, I got the people, I'm really dialing down messaging with very clear testing, like performance marketing. Now it's the systems.
And if you could automate one of these parts, which one would it be?
I don't know how to properly articulate this, but when I build a new system or a standard operating procedure, I have to train everybody on it.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like the first time that we're doing it. There's so many overlapping parts. I need to like get everyone down. So my therapist calls this being robotic, but in business, I think it's actually good.
Yeah, it can be called SOP.
Yeah. And like, hey, the Japanese killed it. So if I could get everybody from new process to robotic and then sprinkle creativity in there.
That would be the sweet spot.
Yes.
So you mentioned also that you already have this vision for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. Tell us a bit more without any spoilers. Tell us what's your vision for the future.
We're in the process of becoming the #1 base layer for the DoD and allied forces. So that is, if you see flame resistant base layers, so those are underwear, shirts, sports bras, we want them to be wearing OYA. You see there's diving underwear and those sorts of specialties, we want them to be wearing OYA. Not to say that we don't have love for our civilian customers too. We have much love for them. But when we think about how we're going to scale and really reach that customer, we want that #1 spot.
Yeah. There's a lot of exciting things that seems to be coming for you and for OYA. For the listeners who want to stay in touch and connected, all the links are going to be in the bio. Mitchella, thank you so much for joining me today on the show.
Thank you.